What's up, world? Malcolm back again, and today I'm going to be talking about why I decided to transition. I don't know why, but this this topic is giving me a lot of anxiety a little bit. So basically, to sum this up, I'll give you the long short of it first. I needed to transition for myself. I was in denial. I The best way I could describe myself was damaged, and I felt like I was damaged because I was lying to myself, and I knew that I was lying to myself because I wanted to appease everyone else. I wanted to make sure that my family still accepted me, and I wanted to make sure that my wife still accepted me, and our kids still accepted me. So I lied to myself, and that's the worst thing you could do, is lie to yourself, because I feel like when you can lie to yourself, you can lie to anybody. And I lied to myself for a long time about it. It's like, I could honestly say I knew when I was younger that something wasn't right. Like, I knew when I was younger that, I wouldn't say that I knew I was trans. I didn't know what trans was. I was very sheltered. Like I told you guys before, I came from a very religious family. So what I knew was church, and what I knew was the Bible. And I think that's part of the reason why I was in denial, because what I was taught and what I grew up on didn't match what I felt. And that's the primary reason why I lied to myself for so long, is because I was very active in church. I was on the youth ministry team, and I was on the music ministry team and all that other kind of stuff. And it was just like, if I could show you my life at 16, I won't say 16. My mom says I went to sleep her angel and woke up her spawn once I turned 16. So if I could show you my life at like 14 and 15, I was very active in the church, and you would never think that this person that was very active in religion could grow up to be trans. And I think primarily that's because right now in my life, I feel like the Christian religion spews a lot of hate. And I say that because they will preach about your wrongdoings all day, but they don't really encourage you. But that's a totally different conversation. I guess now you have my perspective on religion. But I just feel like I lied to myself for a very long time, and then it got to a point where curiosity was becoming a fantasy, and like that was my ambition. Like, I wanted to do that. I wanted to transition, and I just didn't know how to say the words. Like, honestly, when I finally started coming out to people, I would break down, like, because I didn't know how people were going to accept me. I didn't know how my mom was going to accept me. I didn't know how my wife was going to accept me. And I hear so many times how trans individuals come out and they're shunned, or they're kicked out of their family, their spouse or their partner leaves them, and then they're by themselves. And I didn't want that for myself. But this is what I had to do for myself. Like, if I could describe myself, I felt like at that age I was keeping myself overly busy because I was so damaged and I was so depressed that the only thing I could do was keep myself busy so that nobody around me could see what was going on. What they would see is, oh, well, I'm into these activities and I'm going across the state and I'm doing outreach to other teens and other youth, and I'm going across the country and I'm doing outreach to college students at like 13 and 14. That's what people saw. And while I was outreaching to other people, it was like I was hiding so much pain inside of myself because I didn't know who I was, and it was driving me crazy. I think a breaking point for me was when I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm a lesbian. And the way that like, me coming out to my mom at that point, the way that came out, like, she didn't agree with it. And partially because my mom we were heavily involved in church. I'm at a point now where it's like, I'm not going to say I don't care what people are going to say, because when it involves my family, I'm very family oriented, and the last thing I want is for me not to have family, because that's what I know. But what I can say is I'm at a point where I have to live for myself. If I don't live for myself, who's going to live for me? I can't sit here and live my life how I was, because it was very unhealthy. Like I can honestly say at that point it was a day by day thing. At that point it was just like, I'm here, I'm existing, but I'm not living. It was my breaking point, because I didn't see a future for myself, and I'm a very ambitious person, and I'm very like goal centered, and it's like my goals were just starting to fade away. Like I just felt dead inside. I really did. But now that I've come out, and now that I've accepted my trans status, and I'm like, honestly, people around me tell me all the time that I'm blossoming, and they've never seen me smile so much, and it's just, I can honestly see that I've changed for the better. Like, I'm loving the person I'm becoming. I can honestly say I've never taken so many pictures of myself until like November of 2015. I can look through my phone and there's going to be pictures prior to, and it's like while I was pre-T and before I knew what was going on with me. But the amount of pictures compared to the amount of pictures I have now is crazy. Like, for 5 years of my life, I had maybe 20 pictures. And since November of 2015, I have like 200 pictures of myself. And I think that's crazy. But anyways, I'm rambling. So basically, to sum it up, Paris was who I was. Paris was damaged. Paris was depressed. It was a facade. But Malcolm's who I'm becoming, and I love who I'm becoming. And if I could have did this sooner, I would have. But that's it. But alright, y'all. Stay true to you. I'll see y'all in the next one.